And on to our next project or repair. What have we here is an A4 DTG printer. Very useful for printing some smaller series, smaller stuff, smaller items like some kind of souvenirs mostly. And also what it can do is print some shirts for kids and stuff like that. Very universal printer, and you actually don't see much of them in use nowadays, but every few here and there we get one for repair, so that's also we're gonna check to see what's wrong with it. From what we know so far from the owner, should be a quick repair, but oh, already we have an error. Maybe I spoke too soon. Let's try again. Yeah, probably the table was a little bit pulled outside, so that's why the error happened. So that's not a big deal. That first error, a bit more slack on the pipe. Something is scratching over here in the left position, so we're gonna have to check what that is. Why is that? So printer went to the automatic head cleaning, so we should be able to see if the pump is working properly, but from what I can tell, not so much. We're gonna try to turn on the power clean. Maybe that will suck the ink in the head, because this is only an ordinary clean, not that much. Okay, so let's try to do one more head clean. So this is the power clean, and you can see that the pipes are filling, so we can say that the pump is working good. And we're gonna try to test print something out to see the state of the head. Maybe the head needs a cleaning, and that would be manual cleaning, and if not, maybe it even has to be replaced. We'll check that out right now. And it's actually it's a D92 model, which is one moment, we have to put the table in the printing position. That's why the error appeared over here. So it's a D92 model or D78, or even for the Asian market S20. all of those are the same, and this particular printer has the D92 box, but D78 electronic, so the drivers are by function are the same, but just a different mark on the driver. So we have this first print, as you can see, black square with the CMYK test is very pale, so probably at least what we're gonna have to do is to try to manually clean the head, and if not, most likely we're gonna have to replace it. So yeah, yellow square is pretty good. Probably the problem is in the black channel. So if we don't if we don't have a clear CMYK test, it doesn't really matter if the other three channels are good, because we do need all four colors in the print. So this printer has a manual lifting mechanism, and it's a bit too low. I pulled it up a bit so it doesn't scratch this paper over here. So yeah, yellow, magenta and cyan are pretty good, but black's not, so we're gonna have to pull out the head, try to clean it. But in this condition, such as this, we probably won't be able to clean it off, wash it off, however you want to call it, but we're gonna have to replace it. So we will now try to pull it out. Of course, when we do that, we do need, as with this printer, as with the all other printers, we have to unplug the power cable, turn everything off, and then try to replace the head. There are some stripes here in the magenta also, so the print head is probably at the end of her lifespan, but nevertheless we're gonna try to clean it first. That's how we do things. That's how the order of things is when you try to do a repair. You try to keep it as cheap as possible for the owner, but sometimes we do have to put some new stuff inside in order to have the quality of prints, because all of these printers are not just printers for paper, but they need to make some money, and so average performance of printing is not desirable. We need to have a good end product. So you see we got some slots here where the flat cable is standing in, and with lots of printers you have this contact board with for the 4 channels or 4 cartridges, which have the flat cable plugged in either from the left side or the right side. But what is necessary is to unplug that cable for the contacts first, then pull out the contact board. So in this particular case, the cable is plugged in from the left side. If I don't unplug it, I'm not gonna be able to pull this contact board up. It goes up, also has slots, 2 hooks, but first we need to release the cable like this. So the cable, it has one pin dirty, but other than that it is pretty good condition, so that's probably gonna be working fine. Let's see, so we have 2 hooks on each side, which go through the hole also on the side, so we have to release the hook by pressing the hook to the inside, pull it up a bit. That's the left side, and the right side over here. And there's a lot of printers with the same principle, or if not the same, very similar, but you have to release the cable, release the hooks to pull this up. So these are 2 hooks holding the contact board inside the slot. We also had this plastic piece that covers the flat cable on the side of the head. This is where the cable is plugged in, so we need to move that also. And often when the owners replace the head by themselves, they usually throw away those pieces that hold the cables inside, but they're actually pretty important. So if you happen to change the print head yourself, be sure to keep those safe and somewhere where you won't be losing it. And when you're done installing the head, put those things back inside, because they're kinda important, especially if printer has other function than the ordinary ones. So this is where the cable is plugged in. We actually have to pull up the head outside the head carrier to be able to plug the cable and unplug the cable. Right, so this is the head. Let's see if it's gonna... Right, so we're gonna try to clean the head. I've actually already pulled the ink that was inside the head up, so that's the principle of cleaning head manually with the syringe. So now we're just gonna have to check if there's gonna be some curtain of flow through the nozzle. So this channel is pretty good. If we, maybe it would be more visible if we lighted up the head, but I think you can still see the curtain. So this one is also pretty good. This one is kinda, it has some holes inside the curtain, and it's throwing some nozzles off. So this one is not that good, because I have to apply pretty much a lot of pressure to push the alcohol through the channel. So that's the magenta channel. Not that good. Not that good, so we're gonna have to, as I've said before, we're gonna have to change the head. Let's just see what's going on with the black or carbon channel. Not 100%. There are cracks in the curtain, and some of the, you can see it pretty good that some of the nozzles are spraying all around, throwing left and right the curtain. So not that good. Not that good. It might be usable, but only for maybe for in like ordinary use inside the paper printer, something like that. But we actually we're gonna have to replace that one and try with the new head, because it's at the end pre-clogging state, that I would let's gonna call it like that, pre-clogging state. So we've already said we're gonna put another head inside instead of the old one, but before first what we need to do is to check the cartridges for state of the ink inside, or does it have to be deaerated or something like that. So we're gonna deaerate each cartridge before we install the new head, and this is actually how you should keep the cis. So this owner is much more paying attention to keeping the cis system, especially these outside tanks, clean, and that's a good thing. So this is how, also if you have something like this in use, this is how you should be treating your cis system, and then you will have the best results. So we have to lift up the outside tanks, and we have to be quick to lower the tanks down when the ink reaches the top. So there is something, some air inside the cartridges, but these cartridges are, what's good about them is that they only have one chamber, so it's possible to see right away. It's more quicker to fill it up, and you can see right away the level of the whole cartridge. So there is a bit of air in both of the cartridges we've opened so far. We're gonna push that out. So other way around, if you have the outside tanks lifted up, you can also regulate the flow by lifting this side up or lowering it down. but usually how it's done is to lift the outside things. So this is this one was let's say half full. This one was filled pretty good, cyan, and this one is a bit less good, but still good nevertheless, because if you can cover up the filter inside the cartridge, then you should be good when you fill it next time, because you won't be having any clogs in the filter, and that's a good thing, because when you need to deaerate, you will deaerate with no problem. But if the filter gets clogged, in that case the flow of ink from the outside tank to the cartridge is very slow, and that causes you to lose a lot of time by doing this, and you do have to do it here and there from time to time. So the main thing to pay attention to is to have the ink level at least at the position which covers the inside filter. We got some bubbles over here, so I just poke them with paper like this. So the less air bubbles, air pockets, and so you have, the better. The cartridge will last longer, and the head would be supplied with the ink better. So this one is also filled pretty good. Magenta and cyan were mostly with some air inside, but not that bad. This system is, from what I can tell, is a relatively new one, so the flow everywhere is pretty good. Let's just finish this one, and we're gonna move to the head. Something is strange here, because I can see that the ink is not really moving to the cartridge. Maybe if I lower it down a bit more. Yeah, it flows, but a little slower than on the other ones. Alright, so we got that done. So now we should install this other head inside. We have to cut some slack over here so we can plug in the cable. Alright, pretty simple, straightforward, not nothing much. And the owner already lost one screw, but the 2 screws are also good enough. But those are the only screws you would be using. Alright, we got that inside. We're gonna put the contact board inside. Okay, we're gonna cover the cable over here, and we're gonna place the cartridge holders to the back. It's a little all right, so we can put the cartridges on the head right away, and so we don't keep the head on air for too long. And let me just plug in this contact cable over here, and I don't really have enough light right away. That's not gonna do us any good, but I have this lamp over here, because you really don't see what you're doing without any light over there, and you do need to be very precise with plugging in this cable, because if you don't plug it in good, you might be able even to cause a short circuit, and we surely don't want to do that. Alright, so we got that, and we need to place the flat cables in the slot. And one more thing, we need to give the pipes some slack to unfold correctly. Like this, I think that's good. And now we need to power up the printer and do probably a couple of head cleans in order to fill the head with the ink. So as with all other Epson printers, the same is with this one. We already have some error. Maybe the cartridges are not recognized. Probably. Let's just try to do a reset. So when you're doing a reset, it's the same principle with every Epson. You have to have a head carrier or head on the place where the ink cartridges are replaced. So let's see if I've managed to reset the cartridges. I didn't. So something is still wrong. Maybe the cartridges didn't sit properly on the contacts. This seems okay. Let's try again. Yeah, so we got it right this time. So let's see if the ink's gonna be pulled to the head. You can see that it's already traveling to the cartridge. But this head clean is, by the sound, it's only a normal head clean. We're gonna try to activate a power head clean in order to fill the head properly. Right, so one more. It's the same as with all other Epsons. You hold the ink button until it starts working something. That's the easiest way to start the head clean. This still wasn't the power clean, so maybe we should try one more time. Also, there's some ink on the capping station and the wiper. We're gonna have to clean that up a bit. It's standard stuff when you do some repairs. And so now this is the power clean. After this we should be good for test run to see if it's gonna print the CMYK boxes any better. Alright, so maybe what we should do is turn this paper around so you can see the difference between the prints. Alright, so we're gonna let's see. There is a bit of a scratching here and there. We're gonna check to see if that's gonna be good. Something strange with this print. Definitely something is not good. Either the head by itself is not good, which I don't think so, but probably the cable doesn't sit inside the connector of the head good, so we're gonna have to repeat that one once again, so no point of printing further. So this is definitely not good. We're gonna check it one more time. So what else we're gonna do is we're gonna clean up the pipes of the pump a bit, because the pump does work, but maybe it will work a bit better if we just do a regular maintenance on the pump, cleaning the pipe. So how we do that, we add some alcohol to the capping station. We also did clean the wiper and seal on the capping station. So you add the alcohol on the station as much as the seal can receive, and you go to the exit pipe on the end over here, which goes to the waste ink bottle in this case, and pull the alcohol from the capping station to the syringe like here. So we're gonna see the alcohol disappearing on this side like this. So that should be done a couple of times just to make sure that you clean everything up good. So you can move the alcohol, push the alcohol front to the front and back, forward, back. So you give that pump, you can give that pump a nice clean, and it's not it's a functional pump, but it's good to do this kind of maintenance from time to time. So after this we're gonna check if there's gonna be some maybe improvements on the head clean, and after that we're gonna try to do a test print. And yeah, this is the kind of prints we wanna have, filled up with no stripes inside the box, and all the basic colors are here. So these smudges over here, don't mind them, because they do happen when the head is set close to the paper. So when the paper gets soaked with the ink, it does deform a bit, and partially it raises up a bit closer to the head because it's wet, and so these smudges happen. But all in all, we're good now. We have all the colors printed correctly without any stripes inside, and the pump is doing pretty good now since we've cleaned it up a bit. So this will be all for this A4 DTG printer for a change.